What a morning. And thanks to all of you for hanging in there. We've got 10 more minutes left, and then you're free to go to lunch. So allow me to share with you just a little bit more, maybe 5 or 10 minutes on what today was all about, what we are up to at Stewardship Asia, and how we can work together going forward, because these are things that require, as we've heard the word collaboration all the time today, what can we do together? Because this is beyond any one of us individually. So allow me first to give you a little overview of what's been happening at Stewardship Asia since last year's summit, kind of a one-year report card, if you will. So as you know, our mission is to provide catalytic education and advisory on steward leadership, because hopefully by now you're convinced that steward leadership is the need of the hour. Every 40 to 50 years, leadership models change, and the model we need now is steward leadership, even though I'm biased. So what do we do at Stewardship Asia? Very, very quickly, executive education. Open enrollment programs we do in partnership with several universities around the world now. The good news is that the model of steward leadership has now been widely accepted, and many universities are willing to partner with us to put it into their curricula. I will not name the universities, several more coming. SL25 you know all about, because this is the inspiration that we need to travel. StewardshipCommons.com, I will talk about. This is our digital engagement with the world, because we think everybody needs to have a voice, and I'll talk to you about Stewardship Commons in a minute. Events and engagement, events like this, research and advisory. You heard a little bit from Sunil, and I will put some more light on that in a second. And we also look at responsible investment. So that's the gamut of what we do. I'm not going to go through every single box and give you highlights, but I will talk about one or two of them. One of them is our executive education programs and events. Very glad to tell you that now, in the last 12 months, we reached over 300 participants around the world with the messages of steward leadership, and over 1 million digitally, and very grateful that the messages are landing well. Many people are coming to us and said, we want to help. So that's something that I wanted to just share with you as a moment of joy, if you will. But there's one program in particular that I want to talk to you about that is coming up. It's our first study tour of this place called Doitung in northern Thailand. This is a program, a study tour that we will be running in November, so there's still time if anybody is interested, but an amazing story of steward leadership. I shared this last year, I think. The picture that you see up there of scorched earth was once a lush green forest. The picture you see below that is independent militia sort of ruling on the villages in these hills, and the only two professions up to 30 years ago were prostitution and the drug trade. And the only way to earn a living was to get into one of those two. And if you didn't, you were beaten up with chains by this independent militia. One fine day, one woman, yet again a one-woman story, the Thai princess mother arrives and looks at the plight of these villagers and says, I reject this present. I need you to create a better future. And she challenges her foundation to do something different about it. And somehow or the other, they raised the money. Somehow or the other, they got everybody together. And what that looks like today is this. Totally reforested. And those same villagers who were being beaten up by chains every week and into extreme poverty today own hugely profitable global businesses, community-owned businesses in macadamia, in coffee, in ready-made garments, in fabrics, big brands like IKEA, Muji, and the ones you see up here are using them. They use Italian designers to design their products. In many airport shops, you'll see their products sold. And these are all businesses owned by the same villagers, not by a big company or anything like that, and hugely profitable. Is it possible to do well by doing good? Here's an amazing example. Again, the vision of one person. Side story, when the princess mother wanted to make this transformation happen, the foundation, Mae Falung Foundation, had no money. But she was 79 years old. And she said to her deputy, hey, you told me that the people of Thailand love me. Is it true? Yes, ma'am, they do. Well, ask every citizen to give me 1 baht, 5 baht, 10 baht as a birthday gift. My 80th birthday is coming up. Use that money. That's how they started. So where, as Dr. Bedi was saying, where there is a will, there is a way. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a program, a study tour. We will be going to actually visiting the before and after 11th to 15th of November. If you would like to attend, if you would like to join, talk to us offline or want to send some of your people, eye-opening, eye-opening. When I went there for the research of the book I wrote, and it was one of the most eye-opening trips I ever did. So that's the newest program from our stable. So visits and things like that. Another new program, this is a program for board directors on all the things that we've been talking about. What's the role of the board? This is a brand new program that we've created, which is actually the first run is happening tomorrow. And thanks to SGX for bringing this to their members. This is the first of its kind that will happen tomorrow, and then we will offer it regularly. It's a half-day workshop for senior board directors on how you can push the needle on environmental and social sustainability while still remaining profitable. So those are just some developments on the executive education front. My favorite thing that I've been associated with along with the team, and I speak for my whole team out there that works every day, day in and day out, very, very hard. We created a little over a year ago a platform called stewardshipcommons.com. Now, stewardshipcommons.com is like a Wikipedia, meaning anybody can contribute any information and anybody can consume that information. It's a Wikipedia, but only for environmental and social sustainability, innovation on how to address today's challenges. Very proud to tell you, in just one short year, we have over 28,000 subscribers and over 425 contributors and counting. So I urge you all to take out your phone and please join this community, because this is where innovation will come from. It is an entirely crowdsourced platform. It is free. It will always be free. There's no money-making scam here. We want innovation to come from all over the world, and this is how the conversation will lead us to a better future. So this is our digital engagement platform. Please not only join, if you want to contribute, you can put a video, you can put an audio, you can put an article, whatever you want to share, or you can just be a user and consume the information, or you can connect with other people who are having these conversations on the platform. Not only do I request you to join it, but please spread this QR code as far and wide as you can. Anybody that you know who's thinking about these things, encourage them to become a contributor, encourage them to become a user. So that's our digital piece there. On research, in the last 12 months, we've been pretty busy. Those are some of our recent publications, and we've been writing a lot of case studies on a whole lot of things that we use in our programs. And one of the research pieces that I want to talk about, which Sunil alluded to in his panel discussion earlier, we're looking at a lot of greenwashing. We're looking at a lot of AI, as we just heard, can be a pretty good thing, but can be also a very dangerous thing. So the idea of ethical integrity is something that we are researching now. How can we encourage more organizations to do the right thing, even though laws don't yet exist? Because if data protection laws are anything to go by, a lot of harm was done before data protection laws were written. People lost their lives. Lots of terrible things happened. And the laws on good use of AI will come 10 years from now, perhaps, and it's possible that we might do a lot of damage. We don't have time for that. We need to do the right thing now. So what is this idea of ethical integrity? Well, the basic is no integrity. This is plain dishonesty. We all know what that is. And then, as Sunil was saying, there is something called integrity. And most people see integrity very narrowly, as in, I'm not doing anything wrong. And as Sunil said very eloquently earlier, just doing no wrong doesn't mean you're doing right. Right? So that's unfortunately the way people look at integrity. What we need is ethical integrity. Using your power with a stewardship mindset to minimize harm and maximize good. And again, as Stephen was saying, when it comes to ethics, what's right for me may not be right for you, but right now that's the best mechanism we have. Your values, stewardship purpose, act according to that. I'll give you just a couple of examples of when we don't use ethical integrity, how wrong can things get. So imagine you're a private equity guy and you just bought a pharma company, and the pharma company produces a drug that costs $13, and a lot of people around the world are dependent on their drug to stay alive. Because you are now the new owner of the company and the drug is in massive demand and nobody else makes that drug, will you overnight increase the price from $13 to $750? You have every right to, because you are the owner of the company. There is no law that says you are doing something wrong. Would you do it? From $13 to $750? On the pretext that I need more money for research and produce more drugs, so the company needs to make more profits? Well, I leave it to your ethical judgment to decide whether that's true, because a lot of people that are dependent on that drug will suddenly not be able to afford it. Well, that's exactly what this gentleman did at Turing Pharmaceuticals. By the way, he's serving a 7-year jail sentence right now, but for crimes not related to this one. This one, they didn't find anything legally wrong with, okay? But it created a huge stir in the world. And now, second situation. Imagine you are this genius, you are this inventor, you have superior intelligence than anybody else, and you are now on the forefront of AI. Would you use AI to produce and deploy weapons of mass destruction 100 times more powerful than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, perhaps without even a press of a button with AI-controlled drones? Would you choose to use your intellect to do that? Now, if you did that, you would be hailed as a patriot. Not only is it not illegal, you will be hailed as a patriot because you're making your country safer. That's exactly what Palmer Luckey did. He's known as the Oppenheimer of Silicon Valley. This guy actually, he's only 31 years old, and he controls one of the most important defense companies in the world today. And he is using AI technology to deploy these drones that can destroy cities, perhaps just without even a press of a button. Would you use your intellect, your superior intellect that God has given you, for that? Or would you use that to preserve life? That is the reason why we are researching at Stewardship Asia the question of ethical integrity that Sunil was talking about. We want to understand, when people do the right thing, what motivates them? And when people do the wrong thing, people like you and I, when we commit white-collar crimes, we all come from good families, what snaps when suddenly we do the wrong thing? We're studying all of this, and hopefully by next year, we'll bring you more cases and more literature on this. So just a flavor of some of the research that's going on. And to sort of bring it all together, what we are saying is, as I mentioned yesterday again, steward leadership is about creating that collective better future. It happens when we live those values, those 4 values, and make that part of our DNA. We then define a stewardship purpose, the collective better future that we want to create, and then make sure that everything we do personally and organizationally, we do through the lens of our steward leadership compass. That is the essence of steward leadership that we've been talking about. The 25 winners were awarded based on their demonstration of steward leadership. But as we are learning more about steward leadership through our research, we are saying there is one more element that we need to add to this model, and that is ethical integrity to complete the picture, because we cannot rely on laws and other normal norms of understanding the world, because things are changing very, very fast. The only thing that might save us is, instead, in addition to all of this, is ethical integrity. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a little quick overview of what we were doing, what we've been doing for the last 12 months. Clearly, lots of progress, but not possible without all your help. We've been very fortunate to get a lot of help from a lot of you, and I urge you to continue to do that. Please, let's continue working together. If you have any ideas on how we can spread this movement of steward leadership, and you have a way to help and join the movement so that we can spread the movement, please talk to us. Let's work together, continuing to build a collective better future. On behalf of Team Stewardship Asia, and particularly on behalf of the team that's sitting at the back that actually worked day and night to make this summit happen. It takes a year's cycle to make the summit happen. So, well, the team, please stand up. SAC team, please stand up. All my colleagues, all of my colleagues, wherever you are in the room, please stand up. Thank you very much. I get to stand here and talk about these things. The magic happens all year long. The SL25 cycle is a year-long cycle, so I am so, so lucky to be working with such an amazing group of people, and thank you all for being here today and for all the help. Thank you.